The Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations in human history, flourished in southern Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 4,500 to 1,900 BCE. They are credited with many cultural, technological, and societal innovations that laid the foundation for future civilization. Here's a deep dive into their history, culture, and a particularly crazy fact that highlights their sophisticated but sometimes startling practices. Damerd, History of the Sumerians. The Sumerians were primarily concentrated in the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a region often referred to as the cradle of civilization. This location allowed them to develop an agricultural society, and their innovations in irrigation systems transformed this arid region into a highly productive area. The Sumerians formed city-states such as Uruk, Ur, Lagash, and Eridu, each with its own ruler and patron deity. The Sumerians are widely credited with the invention of the first known form of writing, Cuneiform, which began as pictographs and evolved into a system of wedge-shaped marks on clay tablets. Writing enabled the development of a complex bureaucracy and the recording of laws, trade transactions, and historical events. Their Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the oldest surviving works of literature, exploring themes of mortality and the quest for eternal life. Religion and society. Sumerian religion was polytheistic, with gods that represented natural forces and elements of life. Anu, the sky god, Enlil, the god of wind and storms, and Inanna, goddess of love and war, were among their most important deities. The Sumerians believed that the gods controlled every aspect of life, and keeping them appeased was crucial to maintaining order and prosperity. Priests and temple complexes played a central role in Sumerian society. Ziggurats, massive terraced temple structures, were the focal points of Sumerian cities and served as places of worship and administrative centers. These towering monuments symbolized the Sumerians' dedication to their gods and their technological prowess in construction. The Sumerians had a highly stratified society, with distinct classes including nobles, priests, commoners, and slaves. Women, although largely confined to domestic roles, could own property and engage in trade, and priestesses held important positions in religious life. The crazy fact. The first recorded beer culture. One of the most intriguing and crazy aspects of Sumerian culture is their love for beer. Sumerians were among the first known peoples to brew beer, and it played an essential role in their daily life, economy, and religious practices. In fact, beer was so integral to their culture that it was often used as a form of currency and offering to the gods. The Sumerians even had a goddess of beer, Ninkasi, who was celebrated in hymns. One such hymn, known as the Hymn to Ninkasi, doubles as both a song of praise and an ancient recipe for brewing beer. This hymn outlines the ingredients and process for making beer, demonstrating that brewing was both a sacred and practical activity. Beer wasn't just a casual drink, but a fundamental part of social and religious gatherings. Workers were often paid in beer, and it was consumed by all classes, even considered safer to drink than water due to the fermentation process. The Sumerians' fondness for beer highlights how advanced their agricultural and culinary practices were, but also underscores how this ancient society shared some surprisingly familiar cultural habits with the modern world. Vow-free cultural innovations and legacy. Apart from beer, the Sumerians made several contributions that had lasting impacts on future civilizations. They developed early forms of mathematics, including a base 60 numerical system that influences how we measure time today: 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. They created the first known wheeled vehicles, revolutionizing transportation and trade. Their legal codes, such as the Code of Ur-Nammu, predate the more famous Babylonian Code of Hammurabi by centuries. These laws regulated everything from property disputes to punishments for crimes, laying the groundwork for later legal systems. Conclusion: the Sumerians were a remarkably advanced society, pioneering in writing, governance, architecture, and even brewing beer. Their contributions laid the foundation for many aspects of modern civilization, from the way we tell stories to the way we calculate time. Their deep connection to the gods, combined with their inventive spirit, allowed them to build one of the world's first great civilizations, making their achievements in history and culture truly remarkable, and, occasionally, delightfully surprising. If you learned something new, or just love history as much as we do, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out.